Hi, I'm Alexander, and this is a video log covering my recent project updates as well as some of the experiments I've kind of been, working on in the background. I'm mainly doing this to keep a record of what I've been up to, but if, anyone else actually sees this, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy my ramblings. The second reason being to build up my confidence, to be able to learn how to speak in front of a camera, being able to more comfortably appear in videos and photos. It's not something I'm, used to altogether. If you've seen my TikTok or Instagram at all, I've only just started talking in those, and I've never shown my face. So this is all very new to me. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is TPU. So I've been 3D printing since 2017 or 18, and in that entire time I've only ever used PLA. So actually last week was the first time I ever tried out TPU and I was blown away. I think I should have been using it for a lot longer. So I've been trying these tests, these fabric samples. I'll get some close-ups of them so you can see them better. But the idea of being able to print this flexible material onto fabric to create these patterns, these textures, is this kind of thing that I've wanted to try for a while. I tried it with PLA, but it meant it would come off quite easy, whereas this has a bit of flex to it, as you can see with this piece I printed here. It's got a nice wobble to it. It's got some very nice flexibility. I also tried, I'll get another close-up of this. This is a fancy sort of Baroque style pattern. I don't know if that's right, Baroque. I don't know if that's right. And it printed really well. It's quite thin. I believe it is 0.4 millimeters. So 2 layers of print height on this. It, however, is very stringy. And this has been the biggest problem I've come across whilst printing TPU, is its stringiness. It does mean that prints like this or this, where it's a lot of individual pieces and it's jumping from piece to piece, there is a lot of stringiness, which I found very hard to get rid of. I've tried using a little blowtorch or a little heat gun just kind of heat them off, but it's actually connected to the fabric, which is quite annoying. So I've tried playing around with settings like retraction and Z-hop. I've not quite got it quite yet, but I'm on my way to getting it to the place I want it to be, because I think this could be quite good at replacing. I've wanted to try screen printing for a while, basically, but the setup costs for doing each individual screen print is quite high. There's a lot of faff you've got to do, the UV soaking and all that kind of, lots of quite messy. So if I could find a way to get around that by just doing a 3D print onto fabric, and I could do all the different styles I wanted without having to create mesh over and over again. Another project that I've been working on at the moment is my next animatronic. So previously, when I was back in uni, I had the chance to make an animatronic as a personal project. I got to pick what I could do, so I picked an animatronic. That was quite fun. I'd previously done one that was sort of made out of cardboard, but it wasn't as cool as this one was. And it had a silicone skin, and half of its face was missing. I'll put up some footage so you can see it properly. But my next project is my next animatronic. My idea for this one is that it's going to have a sort of face shell kind of thing with different interconnecting pieces and parts. It's not gonna have any silicone skin. It's gonna be look like a sort of a fancy robot. All the facial pieces like the cheekbones, the chin, the eyebrows, they're all gonna be different individual parts with various rotation. But I want them to look like they are like a lovely painted ceramic or porcelain like you see with fine china, where it's got lovely blue painting on it, it's high gloss. I kind of want to get like some cracked techniques, which might be nice, sort of crackling over it. I'll put up some, I'd like to get some fancy graphics over here of it so you can see what it looks like. I don't know if anything's coming up, if I can be bothered to put anything here. But yes, this is the next thing for me. And my idea is, instead of having it on held in a vise or on a stand or something like my last one was, it had neck movement, it had 3 servos controlling the various neck movements. This one, however, I want it to be all housed within the head. So you could pick up the head, you can put it down, it might be powered by a battery pack, I'm not quite sure yet. But the idea being that you can put it up somewhere and it looks like its own thing, and then yet it will spring to life and start moving and kind of creepily I'm not quite sure. It's all in a work in progress at the moment. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to be documenting that more as it goes along. Another thing I've been working on is I really want to do a bit of stop motion. So my brother is he's a really good animator. He is in his 3rd year at uni, and some of the stuff he does is absolutely incredible. But when we were younger, we used to both do Lego stop motion, and obviously he's veered off in that path and I've veered off in mine, but I really want to have another go at it. And I've been seeing sort of, clips of like the Ray Harryhausen stuff. It's obviously astonishingly beautiful. And the fact that they could have that combination of the stop motion with the live action footage back in those days is incredible. And so I'd love to do my own kind of take on that with live action footage mixed with stop motion robots. I'd quite like to do a Harryhausen style thing, but it's all sci-fi. Or kind of slightly dystopian robotic looking stuff. I think it would be really cool. So I'd started to model a robot, sort of stop motion armature that I can play around with, modelled in Fusion 360. I'll put some images up here, or some B-roll. There'll be some real B-roll maybe. This was a robot that my brother, he actually designed for me a couple of years back when I was doing a little Blender project. Nothing came from it, but I've always really liked the design of this kind of, I called it like a fax robot almost. But this could be a thing that I would love to animate. So I'm going to try build this stop motion armature, and then I'll try see if I've got any animation still left in me. I've definitely got my brother, if he can give me some tips and tricks and sort of stuff, if he's got any time, that is. But this is something I'd like to do, and I probably will be thinking about. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I really want to kind of continue with it. So we'll just see where that goes. So the final thing I wanted to talk about was these Loki crowns. So I designed these last year in sort of May, and they're based off of the look from the season 2 finale of his show, Loki. However, I sort of slimmed the design down and made it more similar to the President Loki style of mask, but kept the gold veins and the sort of the shiny black look to it. This was a project that I did in ZBrush, had a really good time. I was selling the 3D model on Etsy, and now actually I'm selling my first physical product there now, where I'm selling versions of both of these crowns here with elastic, a hand-painted one, but still raw 3D print, and then just a raw 3D print here. These are both printed on my Bamboo Lab P1P. And I mean, I've had such a good time, and it's my first time selling anything on Etsy, so we'll see how that goes. That's everything on my end. So if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to my ramblings. And I'll try maybe make this a weekly thing. As you can see, I hope, I've been playing around with Blender a wee bit. We have some funky background here. That's been something I'm going to be doing more of, but depending on how long that takes, this might be every 2 weeks, not sure. But if you've liked anything you've seen, if there's anything you want to see, leave a comment. Don't really know how to sign this off, but thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.